Say what?
Go ahead.
Look.
The New OGs. The New OGs is a State and Madison entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, raise the value of your home, and do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is a black-owned company and a SunPower dealer, an American panel maker with over 30 years of solar experience. They even have a referral program that pays out as much as $500 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters.com.
Stop it!
Yes, sir.
Stop it!
Yes, sir. I'm right here.
I got a question for you, man.
Yes, sir. I'm
listening to everything you just said.
Yes.
And I just want to run it down one time for the people.
Yeah.
You say people could save money.
Yes.
Every month.
Save money every month on their electric bill.
They can help save the environment.
They
important.
They could also help save the environment. Very, very important.
And if they refer somebody and they do this, they get $500 for every referral.
They get $500 every time they refer somebody.
Man, that's better than 2 months of free labor because motherfuckers just kept us working. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun for the Juneteenth.
2 years?
2 years.
Of free labor?
2 months. 2 years of free labor. I was like, that's better than 2 years of free labor. I fucked up the joke.
Well, listen, if you like to make so
Just
much
get some
money, you
soda.
could actually buy your own slaves. Get over to www.gosolarmasters.com. Get in contact for a free consultation or to refer someone you know. We are also brought to you by People of Comedy. Get over to People of Comedy on Facebook. See all the great shows offered there and check in daily as they have new, fresh podcasts you can watch and listen to wherever you listen to pods. We are here again. This is episode 99.
I just had $1 billion idea, y'all.
Oh, here we go.
I got $1 billion idea.
Is it a ship that'll get you here quickly?
No.
Is it a
No. Because, hey, y'all, the show always starts 4 p.m.-ish, but I'm taking away for this one. I was late.
I have been the ish in the
realized,
wintertime. You know, I've been a wintertime ish before. You know, I've been a wintertime ish.
Yeah. I'm mad about it because I was already in fucking town. Like if I came from the suburbs and was late, I'd just be like, y'all know I come from the suburbs. I would say shit about you. You come from fucking Milwaukee,
right?
I'll say. Although here's the crazy shit. With traffic and shit, like Naperville and Milwaukee are like the same distance from the same time frame.
I mean, sometimes I will say that Chicago is like coming to Chicago when you're not inside, but is the one places where you get to like experience time travel. Because like you get to go to the past because that motherfucker will say an hour and then 5 minutes later it'll say an hour 10 and you're like, well, I have obviously traveled back in time. Is my car is going forward and yet the distance between me and the place I'm going to has gotten further away.
No, my idea was a slavery theme park. But white people get to experience the slavery at the theme park. It'll be like,
oh my god,
like to be Amish. They get to actually be the slaves. Like they get to pick cotton and they get to bale. Like they get to live the experience so they can say they understood. I think that there's a market for this, guys.
I mean, you can try and I'm sure someone will buy it, but they're probably a member of the 5%ers or something. You know what I mean? Like you probably
that's whose money I want. That's exactly whose money I want. That's my target demo.
If you're trying to swindle a bunch of other gullible black dudes, you might be able to get somebody to hand you some money out of that.
No, yeah. That's jobs, man.
The problem is that they are going to want to come for that money at some point, and you 6'7", but you're just 1'6'7" guy. You know what I mean? Like if you don't think there's 3 tall Hebrew Israelites, you might be in some trouble, dog.
Nah. I'm not trying to swindle no black people. I'm not even trying to swindle nobody, man.
Well, white people are not going to give you money to start a slavery theme park where they can get treated like.
I'm pretty sure they're familiar with how the shit works, and they don't need to go to a theme park.
Nah. You don't understand, man. It's just like going to see the Amish and shit. They want to churn the butter themselves. They want to do that shit. I'm trying to tell y'all.
That.
This is I'm telling you, we're missing out on $1 billion idea. It'll work.
You have falsely believed that putting your penis inside a lot of white women is giving you insight, and it is not. I'm going to tell you right now. They are not going to.
The only $1 billion that's going to make somebody is the creditors when they repossess.
The white people who would want to go are not the white people who have any money to go. They're also those are the rebellious white people who are like, yeah, obviously Black Lives Matter, and they get treated as such. You know what I mean? Those they're all baristas and shit, and they don't have any money to go to your slave theme park.
I don't think these racist motherfuckers are all that bright.
That's where you're wrong.
Like I think we can.
You don't have to be bright to not want to be treated like you black.
Right. And if you're white, you for sure don't have to be bright. You just gotta look over and be like, not that one. That's not the shit I want for sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, man. Like, people do that. They'll ask me about my parent. Like, they'll ask me about racial insight because they think because I have both a white and black parent that I should know better. I'm like, these people don't know much about being the race they're supposed to be either. You know what I mean? Like, if they were doing what their race wanted them to do, they wouldn't have been together in the first place. I don't have any insight for you, nigga. I can't tell you.
I just realized, Bobby, this week for like the rest of forever. It's gonna be like a really amazing week for you because wasn't Loving at the beginning?
Yeah,
of this week?
Loving was it was on Sunday, I believe.
Yeah,
or Saturday. It was after we had done the show. So Loving was on Saturday, which is that's a year. That's the thing I celebrate every year. My parents only got married a few years after the Loving decision. It was already legal in Illinois, but like federal, like if they went to other states, so they
could have problems. They could have issues. I mean, Jack Johnson.
That's a problem.
That's
what
Trump pardoned Jack Johnson for because he had a white wife and he went from Chicago to Indiana.
Oh, thank you.
And Trump was like, I took a Jew kid. Why can't we make this okay? You know what I mean?
If I gotta have the Jew kid, he should be okay too.
But yeah, Loving Day was last Saturday, and so obviously
Day.
that's a big celebration for people like me.
Then Juneteenth, a week later.
Juneteenth is now a thing,
and then Father's Day right after.
Yeah,
that.
Father's Day is right after that.
Bam. Bobby has a crazy week.
Yeah, Father's Day is actually Sunday. We got some dads in the house. James is a non-dad, but he's
a dog dad.
He's going raw, so who knows how it's gonna go for him.
This could be all over next month.
Wait, you're going in with no defense? You're playing with no defense?
Bro, it's been 11 years. What do you think this is? Come on.
The defense has been worn down at this point. You know what I mean?
There's a pill you can pop, too. There's other stuff.
I mean, the defense used to pull back, but now we're going straight in.
You're going straight in?
Are
we going to get baby James?
We'll update you.
Oh, my God. He's going to be like the first baby born by drone.
There's a certain point where it's just like, yeah, we're not trying as much as we just continue to like fucking each other. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be how the shit plays out at this point. You know,
You're not trying. But I'm just saying.
I mean, by the technical terms, we are trying. We're not putting a lot of math into it.
Yeah, the way this shit works is
it's all trying, nigga.
Yeah, you're always trying. It's always trying.
It's completing. That's a deal. You know what I mean? Speaking of fathers, man, Father's Day is Sunday. Rob, you got some Father's Day shit going on? Are you? Do you do any? Is that still a day? Is that a day that does anything for you? Do you? What's your deal for Father's Day?
My father's 91, and I was a horrible stepfather, so it's very difficult for me to do. I don't expect anything, that's for sure, because I don't. I ain't did much.
You think you're a horrible stepfather?
Oh yeah.
Hey man, I'm gonna give you some points just for taking the job because like that's a hard job to take, man. Like I got a good kid. I have a really good kid, and that shit is still hard. And so taking somebody else's kid when you don't know, like, 'cause you into the person when you meet the person, like you might get to know the kid, but you're getting the kid to fuck the person. You're not like getting to know
That's
the kid.
Weird
because,
wording.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to say you're getting to know the kid.
kid.
You're getting to know the kid. I dropped off to know.
I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to put that business out there.
No. There's no reason. I'm just, we cool. But I will say this: if she was around me, she would have been a better person.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna let nobody kid be around me and be stupid. You dig what I'm saying? And that's the thing that made me horrible is that I didn't fight hard enough for her to be under me all the time.
Right.
Because if she'd have been in my presence, she'd have been a much better person.
Okay.
Well, it still shows that you're, what you're saying is like you're not a shit person. You just didn't get as much of an opportunity as you wanted to to fill the role the way you were talking. Hey
that's
man,
why
I'm an actual dad with a daughter, and I wish I was filling that role more often than I got to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's a thing. You know, as a dad, I'm not sure if you ever feel like you're as, you know, and we're all, you know, you and I both have kids, but we're not with the mother anymore. And some of us are very thankful for that.
Both of us. I think both of us are.
Yeah, we're very largely thankful
I'm mad
for that.
at her. She got all that ass. She could have got my son a better stepdad. Like,
fortunately, I don't have like my ex has not got any type of long-term dude around, so like it's not really, not that I would care. I wish for the longest time that she would have, just because then I wouldn't have to like. Then it would be like maybe she could fucking ease the fuck off a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, man.
You know,
Get
Bobby,
some
I
dick.
think that when you and I know somebody gonna tell me I'm wrong because it's sexist or some shit. But I think little girls need to see what successful relationships look like.
That's not sexist. I think kids in general.
That's not sexist at all.
I do believe kids in general, but particularly little girls because of the way the society is set up.
Oh yeah. You got to know what a good dude look like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's.
See what a good
I
dude
think
looks
it's
like.
also,
that makes sense.
by that same token, as someone who's divorced, I think it's also important not to make your child watch you be in a horrible relationship if it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people that stay together for the children, and all the children do is watch how shitty these two people who are supposed to have been like the reason they're here, watch them treat each other like ass for like for 2 decades because she was 5 when you decided you didn't like each other anymore. Like, that is also, because what that ends up leading to is like cheating and all the other shit that your daughter then sees or your son then sees, and is like, I guess that's how because for the longest time, like, my ex and I probably should have broken up well before we did, but because my examples of relationship were my parents fighting and trying to stay together, I thought that was just how the shit worked. I thought, well, of course you're supposed to be yelling at each other. That's how you know love is real, right? But like, I've had relationships since where there was no yelling and they were amazing relationships. Yeah, and you're it's like the first time you get with a coach who doesn't like, you know, talk shit to you, and you're just like, and you're still productive, and you're like, wait a minute.
I didn't have to take that shit.
No abuse was necessary here.
I didn't have to take that shit on this side.
I get to like you the whole time, even though sometimes I'm like not happy with what you told me.
Right. But that's the thing, Bobby, because I don't want to, but my parents didn't have the most smooth relationship all the time.
I think that's I think all three of us have that going.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, when I chose somebody to be with, I'm like, we're gonna have to agree on everything. Maybe not everything, but we're gonna have to agree that we can disagree. You understand what I'm saying?
You're gonna have to be willing to let somebody be in charge sometimes and just be like, well, they're in charge on this one.
And the older I get, the more it's her. Right? Like, all my life, I was looking at old dudes and be like, you motherfuckers is pussy whipped, and you all do, y'all, man, you better believe your woman. And I'm like, damn, she just smarter than me. I mean, I swear to God, dude, she is smarter than me.
Yeah, you also get to not have to try then. You know what I mean? Just tell me what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
No, but
there's a degree of that.
I'm gonna give some love to what Yoda's saying.
I'm trying to be funny. Just fucking where I gotta go at 4 o'clock on Thursday. Fine, all right. I'll be.
No, because he said some shit to me. It might have been earlier this year, maybe last year. No,
he's done with depression, nigga.
Year.
That's all.
When you said, man, we need to
ain't
listen.
Gonna be my fault. Shit.
We need to listen to our women because he broke the shit down. It's like profound. He's like, they got to pay attention to the whole world. It's like, your big ass walking around, you ain't paying attention to shit because who's fucking with you? Nobody's fucking with you, so you ain't paying attention to nothing. And like, she's looking at everything because she doesn't have that same shield as you. So sometimes when she don't like your friend, it's because she sees some shit that you don't see, that this nigga, you know, there's a reason why she don't like him. There's some shit happening there that you can't see because you just, you know, and like, you said that shit and I was like, wow.
I mean, to some extent, that's true. To some extent, that's true.
Also, she could just be a.
But you know, I've also watched
your friends.
I've also watched. Well, no, not. I mean, sure.
I mean,
but,
sometimes that can happen too.
I've also watched women just repeatedly fall into those same traps that you're talking about protecting men from falling into. You know what I mean? Like, that happens. It's just, I think it really, you know, there's 7 billion people. To try and you know, and you may generally be like, hey man, the set of women that I have run into in my life have given me this experience, but You know, the set of, you know, I got into an argument with older women earlier today, and I had a 10-minute discussion because somebody posted a meme, and it was, I think, from an Arthur cartoon where Arthur's laying there and all his buddies are just asleep. And the meme was like, when you wake up from that gangbang, remember what the hell happened. And like these two women in here falsely confused gangbang with gang rape.
Yeah.
And because this lady kind of posed like, well, it sounds like it'd be fun for some people, but not for all. And I'm like, who's not having fun at a gangbang? You know what I mean? Like, who's not? And she was like, well,
this you volunteer for.
She was like, right. Well, that was the thing is like, she thought every type of gangbang was just gang rape. She thought the woman was never interested in being involved. And I'm like, I know women who have definitely been like, I'm going to set this up if you don't set this up.
It's how I've met some of my best friends.
Right. Yeah. So my very good friends, I found that way. And I was just funny because she kept trying to throw up Urban Dictionary definitions to me. And I'm like, why are you looking up internet definitions when I'm telling you I have personal experience?
Also, why are you looking up Urban Dictionary for a definition of a thing that's...
Yeah, I'm like I'm from Chicago and I've been to gangbangs. I am an Urban Dictionary. Yeah. Okay, I am.
But like, gangbang is a thing. It's not like a slang. Urban Dictionary is some shit that's made up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Gangbang is a thing that's existed
for a long time.
What's
funny is when you go to Wikipedia and you actually look up gangbang, because at this point I was like, let me just be sure.
About pitchforks and shit?
No, it actually says it is consensual, which is not to be confused with gang rape.
Wow.
It literally
says Wikipedia and chose
Urban Dictionary
over Wikipedia.
And a person who's been like, I've been to plenty of them. The ladies were way into it and sober most of the time.
Like, I'm not trying to be weird, but every gangbang thing that I've ever I haven't participated in a lot, but everything I've ever been in, it was a woman's idea.
Yeah.
Like every time.
Yeah.
It's never been like some dudes
she
like,
didn't owe any money.
It was always like some
she
woman.
She didn't owe anybody any money. She wasn't in.
You know what'd be cool? You know what'd be cool? If you and your friend and blah blah blah.
Also, what is a gangbang? Like 3 is technically a gangbang.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like anything more than 1-on-1, you can technically count as such. So like, yes, 3 is a threesome, but it's also 2-on-1, which is a gangbang. That is technically a gangbang. So like, you know, it was people. You know, people get lost in the meaning of things,
and a lot of people, it's sex. People get I understand that there are stuff that happens where people get assaulted. I'm not trying to diminish that.
Of course,
that doesn't happen, but there's plenty of consensual group stuff that happens.
There's a lot of consensual things that, in different situations, would of course not be right because anything that consensual.
On the way here,
yeah,
my friend pointed out an Airbnb, and I was like, they do gangbangs there.
It's nice when you can't remember how to get here, but you can remember how to fucking get to the gangbangs. That's good.
I think that the problem with it all is the fact that we even call it a gangbang. Right. I
don't know if porn did that. I don't know who.
Probably.
Maybe we could rename that. Maybe we can call it a groupie or something. You know,
whatever it is a party. Whatever I'm saying, like whatever it is, the words gang and bang.
Yeah.
Very violent to me.
A female-focused cocktail interaction. Well, look, everything's getting fancy names this day. We got a new national holiday.
Penis buffet.
We got a new national holiday starting tomorrow. I think that's when it goes into like immediately, right?
Immediately. They're federal employees that are off today.
Joe signed the bill. You know what I mean? Joe signed the bill. Republicans get to go back to their black people and be like, see?
Unanimous consent that the
Here it is.
Charged from further consideration of S-475 and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report.
Report, clerk.
S-475, a bill to amend Title V United States Code to designate Juneteenth National Independence Day as a legal public holiday.
Without objection, the committee is discharged.
Boom.
The Senate will now proceed to the measure.
I ask unanimous consent the bill be considered and read a third time and passed, and the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Without objection.
Laid upon the table. Yeah.
Mr. President, I ask consent the Senate proceed to the consideration of S-Res 269 submitted earlier today.
The Senate. That's good.
The clerk will report.
You know.
Senate Resolution
Is that a gangbang?
69, designated June 19, 2009
There's a lot of guys, not a lot of
Juneteenth
women.
Independence Day, in recognition of June 19, 1865, the date on which
Couple token
news
blacks.
of the
It's every gangbang I've
Yeah,
ever been
yeah,
to.
that's pretty much how they work usually. I bet you.
That's good. This is a lot of
Objection,
politics.
The Senate will proceed to the measure.
Oh, they're going to the
Ask
measure.
unanimous
Here we go.
consent,
Oh,
the
oh.
resolution be agreed
It's
to,
like
the
17
preamble be agreed to, and that the motions to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action.
Made and
on debate.
laid. That's the flyest shit you're ever gonna hear.
It's
in
insane.
Thank you,
politics.
Mr. President. That was the Juneteenth resolution.
That's it.
Which we'll talk about more tomorrow.
All right, John.
Chuck is fucking crazy, man. But there's two things. There's kind of like two angles to kind of look at the way this is, and like one, obviously, for us who are like a couple generations away from slavery, it is great that another day is recognized as like, hey.
Y'all used to be slaves.
The last of
And you're not anymore.
the last of y'all that we let out. This was the date that but I mean a holiday that commemorates a real end of slavery, not some. First of all, there's been no real holiday to commemorate the end of slavery, right? Like I think in Boston or something they do like something on January 1st of 1863 or whatever. They do an emancipation thing, but it's not big and like Juneteenth has been around. We've known about for a long time.
I found out a lot that there were Texas obviously was the original of the OG Juneteenth, but California ratified it 20 years ago as a holiday. Yeah. And several other states already have it. Illinois right away, like without hesitation, made it a state holiday to match the and it goes in full effect next year, but I think some people are off here today too. That's also probably why I had so much fucking traffic.
Yeah, it's a tremendous thing in that regard that like there's a recognition of it. On the other side of it, I feel like it is one of those it's one of those things just to pacify. It's a very it's one like it's first of all like one of the knocks on black people in this country is that we have been criticized or called lazy like forever, right? Yeah. And so I just feel these guys being like, we've been calling them lazy forever, so what are we gonna do? Give them a day off? Nah, like that just seems like some bullshit that they do that. But also, it is an opportunity for them to say that they did something for black people. This isn't cost them no money. They ain't gotta, you know what I mean? Like they're not giving up. They don't have to. This doesn't mean anybody's equal in their eyes. They didn't give up any equality.
And Alabama ain't gotta recognize that. Shit.
They gotta. Yeah,
the most slave-ridden.
They're all in jail. All the black people in Mississippi are in jail. Okay, there's like 17 black people who are running free in Mississippi.
It's not quite like that, man.
The incarceration rate of black people in Mississippi is insanity.
It is insanity, but there are also a lot of. There's a lot of. I mean, there's a whole university, a pretty large black school down there. Sanders
you mean when they pull the students into school? Listen, no, I'm just saying.
People are from Detroit.
I'm just saying, if you let all the black people who are in prison for bullshit in Mississippi out, everything in Mississippi would be run by black people. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. But this is a good feat. It's also one that is going to be used for a lot of bullshit. And is also one that's being used in the face of denying critical race theory, which seems...
I hate calling this shit critical race theory. I hate that they gave it a name. This is one of the things that I talk about when I say fucking Republicans are better at us in marketing and shit.
It's been called that since before this.
I understand that, but that was some shit for like a college level, blah, blah, blah.
That's all it's actually for, though.
I understand, but they have taken it... They have taken it and put it in a place where motherfuckers are talking about it at elementary school board meetings and shit like that. At elementary school, there was some shit around here. Somebody,
but you can call it anything, and they're just going to take it and do that.
I understand that, and I'm just saying that they are better. They're better at repeating a talking point and sticking with it, and the whole team. They're basically better. They're better at the whole team getting on board.
Followers.
What?
They got dumber followers.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
They're not better. They just decided to go after the dumb people.
Fair enough.
Or the people that are looking for any type of excuse to be racist or not have to give an inch.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm not arguing with that at all.
Like critical race theory, the words critical race theory existed long before this ever happened, and it was always meant to be one way. Yeah. And like the anger I think that a lot of times we feel isn't the fact that they're better at marketing, it's just we read their dumb shit and then we get irked up over it and like we aren't paying attention to the actual work that's being done on the other side of it, or we're frustrated because there are people who should be arguing about the actual shit who we see get caught up in these dumb arguments over. Like, we shouldn't even be entertaining the argument. If they're good at anything, they're good at making us entertain the dumb argument.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're brilliant at it. They're brilliant at it because this shit is ridiculous. Like just flat on the surface, how the fuck do you vote for a holiday and then somebody says, well, what's this holiday for? I can't tell you that. We can't talk about that.
Yeah, that's
you're being divisive. You're being divisive if you talk about why we have this fucking holiday. Like, are you serious? What the fuck? That doesn't even make even a smidgen of sense.
Rob, are you happy for the holiday? Are you excited to? What are your thoughts on it?
I don't give a fuck about the holiday.
You're like, I don't work a regular job. It's a day off or a day on, whether I want it or not. You know.
I mean, if I had a regular job, I'd be like, oh, cool. I ain't got to fuck these crackers again today. But I'm saying, like, overall, I think that what I'm appreciative of is that old lady got a chance to go to the White House.
Opal Lee, right?
Yes, Miss Opal Lee. Miss Opal Lee got a chance to go to the White House and got her opportunity to feel like she had accomplished what she accomplished. And her energy was not wasted. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm celebrating. That's what I'm enjoying. Is that somebody in our community took the time to say, y'all need to acknowledge this. And I'm with that acknowledgement.
Yeah, that's great.
Not putting money in my community's pocket.
Yeah,
and that's the number one thing for me.
And what if we made part of the Juneteenth tradition that we shoplift and they gotta let us go because it's Juneteenth.
Robbery purge. We did. It's not a murder purge. Just a robbery purge. Just a robbery purge.
This is reparations day.
We get to
reparations day. This is day we get to get that.
Not a day.
You hit me with the debit. Hit me with the debit.
Every year we get one day of the year we get
with the debit.
Hit me. Let me put it out there. We need to get nigga cards, right? Look at a nigga card.
Oh, I love live podcasts.
Shout out Sam Norton. I told you I would shout you out when it got too black and I thought it'd be awkward for you. And while we're not having you on this week, I told you it would happen, and you thought that it wouldn't happen. And you're watching the show right now, and I know you thought to yourself, "Oh, this is that moment XL was talking about. It just fucking happened, Sam." Shout out Sam Norton.
This is it, because this is the part where Sam would want to interject, and there'd be no point after nigger cards where Sam would be allowed to have the floor without everybody being like, I don't know if you should really be talking right now, Sam.
I'm just not gonna say anything.
Here's what I'm saying, though. That's exactly what we'll have to call it to get the Republicans to vote for it. Right. Call it the nigger card, right? You get your nigger card, and what your nigger card do is allows you to buy whatever fuck you want, whatever fuck you want it, however fuck you want to buy it. Now here's the good part. It's going to boost the economy. And then also, your nigga card could work as a voter registration card. Right?
Oh, no, you just fucked it up. Right? Republicans are out.
Yes, now they're out.
The Republicans are out. You just Mitch McConnell has left the chat.
Yeah, that's the part where they.
And so here's the reason why it's gonna be cool, because it's gonna be a bunch of black folks that ain't gonna buy cars. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's gonna be a bunch of black folks that gonna open up business.
Right. Yeah, the voting registration part is the part where I got lost. I was like, oh yeah,
that's where you're gonna lose them.
I felt like a Republican because as soon as I heard that, I was like, that ain't gonna work. Like, the nigga part, I was all in. I didn't even care how you spelled it. I was like, whichever way he wants to spell it on there, it'd probably work. And then you said voter registration. I was like, that's when all the Republicans will be done. That's not gonna happen.
I don't know, man. I think they like saying nigga way more than they like vote. You know what I'm saying?
I am worried about what will happen with this holiday in like 10 years, because right now it's like great celebration, but once they start commodifying it and maybe, you know what I mean? Like,
10 years? 10 years, motherfucker. Next year, Juneteenth is gonna be lit. I can't wait to see the Apple ad.
Because like I've been, like before I knew we had some Jew in my family, like I had been to like a Seder or a Passover dinner before, and it's definitely one of those things where I feel like I'm here, but I'm also infringing on some shit that is y'all's. And then after a while, they're just like, "Come on and kick it." And you're like, "All right, I guess I'm doing Jew stuff now." And like I feel like on Juneteenth, that's what it's gonna be like. But like don't just like white people. Please not also just stand up and show up at. Please also just not just show up at picnics. Like all of a sudden you get to celebrate the holiday because it's your day.
I have a friend who is not a racist person, but he said, well, the frat he was in, I think he quit, was racist. And he said he didn't realize they were racist until they did Fried Chicken and Watermelon Day.
Oh, man.
Where they would dress up in like whatever and, think they were like BB boys or whatever. Here's the thing. And I could see that being a Juneteenth thing amongst certain voting demographics.
Hell of a way to find out. One of the things that's super cool, there is a school district in New Jersey. They dropped Columbus Day, and then they decide as like the name of the holiday that they were giving off, and then they just decided to drop all of them.
Yeah,
everything is just marked as a day off now.
It's a break.
It's just day off. That's all it says on that. Which I have been pumping for a couple of years now. Yeah. Where I said that they should stop naming federal holidays and they just call it federal, and they should just number them. And just go with like this. That way you can celebrate whatever you want as many times as you want. You want to have 10 Kwanzaas this year? It's all you, man.
It's all Kwanzaa.
That's your shit. If you don't want to ever celebrate white people shit ever again, or like you didn't like Martin Luther King, you ain't never got to take it as Martin Luther King Day. You can call that
General Lee Day,
Honky Honk Honk Day, or whatever the fuck, Jefferson Davis Day, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You can do it down in your house with your few people, whoever you invited over. But I don't want to see no billboards. I don't want to see you can't march and shit. No, we could just do a bland parade. It'd just be a parade, and then everybody who wants to celebrate whatever they want shows up, and then they all fight.
So everybody and the superior holiday
the
wins.
Arbor Day people fight the Labor Day people. It's just the whole war shit going on. So we yeah.
I'm gonna have my money on the St. Patrick's Day people. They're gonna be fucked up. St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo.
Beating
you
with a
fight for
shillelagh.
drinking supremacy.
What were you gonna say, Rob?
I just feel like they was like, if we gotta give too many nigga days, let's just don't have days.
2 days for black people? Days? Fuck it. It's all over.
You know what? There are no more holidays. Fuck it. We're done. We're done.
If we got to give 2 of them to black people, then nobody's having them.
It's New Jersey, right?
Yeah, it's in New Jersey.
So I just found out. I literally just found this out today. New Jersey, northern New Jersey, where I used to live, Paramus, had slaves.
Yeah, man.
Up until
they did slave catching. They did the whole deal.
Had slaves, but they had slaves up until the Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah, that you like when you think of New Jersey, you don't think of them as being the South.
The New Jersey slave, the New York and New Jersey slave catching system was insane. They had a whole thing rigged up for that.
Like that anti-Underground Railroad.
Yeah, they had a whole thing set up for that. In some response to that is good news, because we still have domestic terrorism here, which is largely based on race. The White House unveiled a whole strategy to try and battle domestic terrorism. That's a whole thing that they're at least saying they're going to do. I say saying because a lot of times this is shit that they say that's what's going on, but it's not necessarily the case. But they've got a whole framework. I mean, Merrick Garland is running it. He seems to at least talk like a dude who's interested in fighting some domestic terrorism. The idea that someone's even saying domestic terrorism, which largely means white people. I'm going to be honest. There's not a lot of black domestic terrorism going on.
No, because they kill you on the spot.
Yeah. They shoot us way before.
Also, there's not a lot of black people get together like as a group to do terrorist type shit. Like occasionally, one black dude sits in a trunk with some young dude he found, and they shoot people from a trunk every once in a while. You know what I mean? Like that shit goes down.
I miss those guys.
Yeah, occasionally a cop, occasionally a black cop is like, "What the fuck am I doing?" and goes and kills a bunch of other cops. That shit happens every once in a while.
Some dude get on the train and be like, you know what? Fuck all y'all. Pop, 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 pop.
But to try and battle domestic terrorism sounds like you're trying to stop white people from doing some racist shit, which sounds like a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I'll take that as an option.
It's weird. Why is it that the white dudes that don't like the government also always hate people of color too? Like, how come there aren't any like white dudes that hate the government to the level that they want to overthrow it violently? Like, how come there aren't some white dudes that are like, I want to overthrow the government violently and I want to do it with my brothers? Where the fuck are those dudes at, man? Like, they would have a lot of us on their side.
It's a couple of them. They all hang out with Clarence Thomas.
Well, they have spent. So there have been decades spent. There have been decades spent trying to combine the idea of being a person of color or being of a different sexual orientation or gender or whatever with communism and socialism. And the core idea of communism and socialism is too much government involved in everybody's shit. And so it becomes a real easy way to package the idea that, like, giving reparations to black people or giving them a holiday is just the start of a slippery slope that will lead us into socialism. And if you give rights to gay people, like, you know, one of the major things about socialism and communism is that the goal is to try and wipe out racism through equating people, right? Through these social communities or communal leadership structures that we have. They're not based on race or gender or who you want to fuck or how many people might be in your family as far as wives or husbands that you've all legally chosen to be with in dark of consensual age, of course. But, like, you know, the deal is like those are things that socialism and communism try and stamp out through the programs and how they work to create a more equitable society. And capitalism ain't about that shit. That's just all. And so, you know, and they're also about small government, because the more government regulations you have, the more hindrances you have on making profit. And so it's easy to lump the desires of equality of race and gender and the desire of government aid to help get there as all the same thing to those people.
Particularly when the whole goal is to keep a lot of power in a few hands. And
that's why they keep fighting for shit, because, like, you know, there were 21 Republicans who voted against awarding medals to police who defended the Capitol. That's a real thing that happened.
Did you see the punk motherfucker? I can't remember his name, but he's the congressman that said, if you did know it was January 6th, you'd think it was just a regular tourist day.
Yeah.
But he was the same motherfucker that was also helping barricade the door when the motherfuckers was coming, but that's a normal tourist day. He ran into, I think the officer's name is Fantone or whatever. Fantone.
The police officer who had a heart attack after he got tased a bunch of times, right?
Yeah, you see him getting his ass beat. And you know what? I gotta do a turnaround on this guy. For a long time, I thought that dude was a sleeper, man. I was like, he kind of looks like a QAnon motherfucker. He's flipping the script. No, he's a real dude. He's coming, because he was a Republican.
He's coming steadily coming out, being like, you guys are crazy. He
went to talk to that dude. He identified himself, and when he went to shake his hand, dude wouldn't even shake his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, they
like, he wouldn't even shake his fucking hand.
Man,
like, this dude helped save his fucking life.
He does not,
and he wouldn't even shake his fucking hand.
He doesn't give a fuck. He is back on his bullshit. He is white dudes out on boats this summer. He is back on his bullshit. He is
like,
you know what I mean?
Having
like,
your life threatened should make you, like, reevaluate what the fuck you're doing.
I don't think
if you have your life threatened like that, and then you immediately. I mean, I don't know what he thinks now, but in that moment when he was in there, that nigga was trying to barricade that door. He thought his life was in danger.
Then he realized it was his own people, and he was like, "Oh, it's not Antifa. All right, well, we good. We."
Oh, okay.
He's still
more than that, Bobby. Yes, that's a part of it. Well, understand, we got to keep remembering this. They got guns.
Yes.
They got guns. So as soon as the immediate threat is over, now they're going to remember me because I kept saying nice shit about them.
Right.
So they won't send nobody to my house. They're going to send them to anybody else, like AOC.
Right.
Send to her house.
Yeah, exactly.
They got armies ready to. This stuff is, I'm telling you.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree with a single word of it. But I'm saying that there's another way that they could do it. They could just not speak on the shit. But, like, literally going as far as saying it was like a regular day when we have video footage of your ass trying to barricade yourself in because you were terrified.
They are beholden.
Dude,
they are beholden to the bullshit.
Unless there's somebody literally like say this shit or
and they want
coming through.
They want the vote. They believe that they need to maintain that Trump level core because every day that they don't make Trump irrelevant, he stays relevant. And the people that believe in the crazy shit that he's talking about that are wrapped up in Q and all that other crazy shit, those are votes because without those votes, those guys don't win. Those guys do not win. They have to, even with those votes, they're almost not winning. You know what I mean?
Even with those, I don't think those. I don't know how much they're winning, man. I have a slightly different viewpoint on you guys. I know I've made the bet with you guys about 2022.
I mean, how's student debt doing?
Huh?
How's student debt? How is, you know what I mean? Like, how are jobs for everybody right now? Is everybody working? You know what I mean? Like, they have a lot of shit they can sit there and back up. That's why they passed Juneteenth, because they're like, yeah, we can let this one slide. We're not going to raise wages. We're not going to fucking do we're not going to do any of the shit that this man is trying to do. You know what I mean? And the FBI has come out and said that QAnon is still going to be a fucking problem.
Yeah.
They're like, which is like, okay, you might as well tell me the water is wet.
The FBI was involved.
Right, yeah. And then right after that, they come out and they say the FBI was involved. Tucker Carlson on his phony-ass show, which everybody has said is phony over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, he comes out and says the FBI must have been involved. And so, you know, they're going to keep pushing bullshit, but the reality is like, it doesn't get less dangerous from here for people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, there is no, one of the things I keep hearing, and they were talking about this with McConnell, because McConnell came out and said that he wasn't going to allow any judges, right? Like, if they take back the Senate, they're going to allow any judges. And they keep asking these fucking people, like, you know, what are you going to do about this idea? And everybody keeps talking about, well, we'll see, or like, we're going to have to change somebody's mind. It's like, these motherfuckers' minds ain't changing.
Yeah, I don't get.
McConnell is not. He's been saying no for over a decade now. This nigga's not going to stop saying no anytime soon. That's not happening.
Yeah, I don't know what if there's any. The only path forward I can see for Democrats is if there are any Republicans that are incredibly fucking vulnerable coming up in 2022. That they can somehow negotiate with that. Hey, we won't come after you. We won't come after your seat if you work with us on a couple things. That's the only thing I can think of, because Joe Manchin is a lost cause.
Well, you know, you saw what happened with Joe Manchin, right?
Yeah, he's a lost cause. That's why I say he's a lost cause.
You saw the tape that he was on, right? He was on this. He got caught on tape, and then he put out the tape. He was he did a donor call with what was it, No Labels?
Yeah,
which is a bunch of billionaires basically. Who claim to be bipartisan, but they're not. They're not.
Yeah.
You know, they are both. They sit on either side of the political spectrum for the sake of whatever that means.
They push bullshit liberal agendas like Juneteenth that don't have any, like, that don't cost anybody any money or make any real significant change. And then they do all the heavy-handed Republican shit that they want to do, so then they can say we're bipartisan. We supported Juneteenth. See, you know, we supported the third stimulus check that the economy needed, or we would all lose a lot of money.
Right.
Like, you know, that type of shit that makes them bipartisan.
Do you see about this call, Rob? Do you see you had this call with his donors?
Didn't. I thought he was.
Oh,
because
Rob.
maybe that's why. Because I've been seeing his position soften. It hasn't corrected, but it's softened a little bit.
He's faking the funk. Ben, you gotta watch. If you get a chance after the show, watch last night's Our Girl. Or watch Our Girl last night.
He's on this. So he's on the call with these billionaires, and you know he's been not saying what he wants for the longest time, right? These billionaire donors. He's not been saying what he wants for the longest fucking time. Not been sharing it. Not been saying what he wants, and he finally starts telling them like what's important to try and get what he wants done. And you see how the machine works, because Roy Blunt is a senator who is retiring, and he's trying to get Roy Blunt, who is a Republican, to vote for one of the bills he's got, right? And he goes, listen, you know, Roy Blunt is supposed to be retiring, you know, his future could be based on him making the right decision here. Now, these are all billionaires who sit on boards that can hire Roy Blunt to a multi-million-dollar job after he's done his service for the country at, you know, $100,000 a year, what the fuck he makes being a senator, right? And so, you know, this is how it really goes down. You know what I mean? It's a deal-making thing for other people to get minimal bullshit passed while stalling everything, and like in the and this
honestly, I don't have a problem with that if shit gets done, like the fact
but
that
it doesn't.
And
that's where my problem is.
Like my problem is
people are hungry now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Mitch McConnell, historically, shit got done like that and it ran smoothly because the other side played along. Everybody's running the fucking Newt Gingrich plan still of never fucking negotiate. Like they treat Democrats like they're fucking terrorists, and they never fucking do, quote unquote, never negotiate with them. And from that perspective, nothing can ever get done unless we just completely wipe the floor with them, which is just it's virtually impossible to do.
They keep changing the legislature.
Just interject.
Yeah.
This is why you don't need to give a fuck what they think about what you call shit. It doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? You could call it critical race theory. You could call it donkey ass. It doesn't matter what you call it. They are not going to do shit. So that's why I'm one of the people like, cause hey man, I know this lady who is a college professor. She's a very bright woman, and she was telling me you need to see White Fragility. So, or read White Fragility. Somebody else sent it to me. I watched it last night, and I thought the lady made a lot of great points, but I also thought, why is she the one that has to say it? You know what I'm saying? Like, people been saying this shit for fucking ever. Like, it's been sisters saying this shit. That's what the 1619 Project has been saying. Like, it's all types of shit that's going on around us that are telling us what's going on, and none of us can talk about it, because if we talk about it, ain't nobody going to hear it. But when she talked about it, it became valid.
Yeah. It's there's a constant ducking of having to do any of the things. And, like, my difficulty throughout this time is, like, again, my problem with these situations is these people who are sitting in these seats in Congress, to them, what's another day or another week, right? They got steak when they go home if they want it. They get a ride. They don't drive themselves around a lot of times, or they have they get per diems or whatever the fuck they 6-figure salary. They get to learn about stock shit before other people, and they make stock moves that motherfuckers don't know about. They get to leave and go get in these cushy jobs. And so, like, what is a week to them? Right? What's a month to them in waiting? But what's a month in interest to somebody who's got, $60,000 in fucking dumb student loan debt to become an attorney that they now can't get a job in the fucking field? Attorneys can't get a job as attorneys. You'd think if you went to school for law, the one thing for sure you'd be able to do is go be a lawyer. That's some expensive shit. $60,000 is bullshit. That's not even close to what those people's, debt is. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah. People always talk crazy about these guys who turn 50, men and women both, who turn 50 and then go out and buy a sports car. And it's like, this motherfucker just got out of debt, nigga.
Dude, I literally just saw an article. I think it was in the Times that said the dream of owning a home, American dream of owning a home, is dead.
That's why I try and tell people who shit on polyamory. I'm like, how you think we gonna pay this house note, nigga? We gotta have like 4-5 families in this bitch if we go.
Dude, here's the thing. I have never, like, polyamory, polygamy, two different things. Just Google it. I'm not gonna explain the whole thing. Yeah. I'm talking to the audience. It's good. Google it. I'm not gonna explain. But however, I'm starting to come around on the polygamy shit, because, like, if I ever did decide to get married, we need a 3-income house, bitch.
There's some other crazy shit going on. It seems like everybody's calls are getting recorded nowadays. You know what I mean? Everybody's getting their shit broken into. Everybody's getting their calls recorded. There's a secret conversation that was had, I think, down in Florida. There's somebody who's running for a Tampa Bay congressional seat, a lady named Anna Polina. This guy, William Braddock, kept warning these activists not to support the GOP candidate, Anna Polina Luna, in the Republican primary. And his threat was that he says, I really don't want to have to end anybody's life for the good of the people of the United States of America, but if it needs to be done, it needs to be done.
Wow.
He threatened this rival with sending a Russian-Ukrainian hit squad after them.
You gotta be kidding.
Which, by the way, is not allowed. You're not supposed to.
That is
it's against the rules when it comes to running for a congressional seat. You can't threaten somebody with a. You can't threaten somebody with a Russian-Ukrainian hit squad, or really any Ukrainian hit squad.
I think it's just hit squad.
Hit squad
in general.
Hit squads basically are out.
If it's a hit squad, if it's a chipmunk hit squad, it's still.
Florida is wild, man. Every time somebody tells me they're moving to Florida, they split their time between here and Florida. I'm like, oh, so you're just crazy some of the time? Is that what's going on? Because I don't like. Don't get me wrong. I know there are parts of Florida that are nice and fun,
really
and there's Miami's a fun place apparently. But, like, my issue is, like, you can't get caught anywhere but in the few places where it's chill.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's like gators and wild-ass people that are down to just kill you for no reason, and people, you know what I mean? Like, people with making terribly bad decisions. There's a whole thing going on.
Okay. I'm not going to try to act like I'm innocent, but just to give you this Florida thing, I'm not going to try to act like I'm innocent, like I am not doing stuff. However, I spent 5 months in Miami and had zero interaction with law enforcement. There was nothing problematic and stuff. One fucking night in Fort Lauderdale, one night, and fucking had to, like, argue with 2 cops, and, like, had this dude. I had a cop that wouldn't even. He was talking to me but wouldn't look at me. He was literally like, where you are. I'm like you're me. He was doing this, like, sir, just blah blah blah. And I was like, are are you talking to me? Because cause my friend was on the other side, and I was
That's a level of passive
like,
aggressiveness from somebody with a gun that just seems off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was like, I didn't know.
You have a whole pistol, nigga. Why are you not able to look this man in the face?
Like it was I don't want to tell the whole story. It was a thing with a cab driver, but it was a thing, and we were trying to pay this guy, and he kept telling us to do stuff, but he wouldn't look at me, and I didn't realize he was talking to me because he wasn't looking.
Right.
Finally, I was like, wait, are you talking to me? And then I realized he would, like, I tried to.
Was he on the spectrum?
Was he? No, he's a fucking cop. He can't be on the spectrum. Not like that. Not to that level.
Can you not
be? How would they know if you were?
Oh my God! They're not gonna know. They're gonna know. How would they know?
Dude, again, okay. Here's the moment. 400-year head start. Okay.
It's a 400-year moment.
Any law that you pass that's supposed to work for a specific group of people generally works best for the white men in said group, right?
First and foremost, predominantly.
400-year head start. So, like, even if they could, because I don't think that if you on like the autism spectrum, they could tell you can't get a job if you on the lighter end of it, right? That means that you ain't reacting to people the same.
Right.
He might have been on the spectrum.
Right.
You don't know, but that don't make
it was
him
Fort
be a bad
Lauderdale.
cop.
Yeah, anything's possible.
Wait, you got to hear what this guy actually said.
It's the Robert Hans Hotel moment.
This guy actually said in this call, he goes, I call up my Russian and Ukrainian hit squad, and within 24 hours, they're sending me pictures of her disappearing. No, I'm not joking. Like, this is beyond my control at this point.
How is he not in jail? I hate white people.
Asked if the killers were snipers. Braddock described them as
white privilege.
Described them as Russian mafia, close battle combat, Tech 9s, Mac 10, silencers kind of thing.
I don't like
no
that
snipers.
You're reading
Up
this.
close
I
and
feel like they're
personal.
gonna think we're saying it, man. There's gonna be a fucking hit squad outside to get us.
I'm pretty sure
they're shot in the crossfire.
I'm pretty sure you shouldn't say those things. You know what I mean? Those are things. Those are things you shouldn't say.
White privilege.
Some Supreme
don't arrest the white guy.
Supreme Court opinions came out. The ACA was upheld for the third time.
Talk all the shit you want to about Barry, but the motherfucker's a constitutional scholar.
I do remember.
They're not gonna break the fucking thing.
I do remember when he put out the ACA, he was like, we particularly structured it so they could maybe knock a few things off it, but they could never overturn it. And I was just like, we'll see, nigga. They be overturning a lot of shit that we be doing. You know what I mean? Like, they be making us forget about a lot of shit. And, like, here we are, you know.
This nigga, man, this motherfucker is somewhere with, like, LeBron and MJ smoking cigars. It's looking like 3-0, like you in the finals, MJ. What's up?
It may be Obama. It may be Obama. It may be some shit that he planned to make this unfold the way it did. But basically, what has happened is too many white folks got health care they like.
That was his plan.
That was
his plan the whole time. That was his plan the whole time. He used to say all the time, once they get it, they're not going to. Huh?
That was their plan to not let them get it. Right.
Yeah.
But once they got it, they got to act like they don't want it. They got to show the people who actually pay for them that they trying to get rid of it.
Right.
They knew they brought up law. They brought up bills to the degree of 79 of them. They made up 79 fucking bills to get rid of Obamacare when they knew they didn't have a shot.
They keep trying. They keep.
But that's what I'm saying though. We had this argument on the show months ago. Because when we were talking about this before, I was like, the shit is structured in a way that, like, constitutionally, it's just hard to fucking argue against. Like, you can't argue against the way it's set up.
It's too many. The real truth is too many white people got it, and now you can't do that without hurting a bunch of white people's health insurance, and that's just not going to happen.
I don't know if the Supreme Court cares that much about that.
It's not that they don't care about it. It's just that, well, I mean, they probably do, but, like, yes, the intertangling of the law makes it difficult. The other part, though, is, like, it is a hard thing for people to fight super hard for. Like, they're not sending the dopest attorneys probably to go try and argue that one, because they're just like, nah, we're gonna let Tim. He got a 78 on his fucking score. We're gonna let him go on the bar. We're gonna let him go argue that shit.
Oh, they got Paul
Favre. Be in the bonnet for that motherfucker.
Shout out Paul Favre.
They got enough money, but
Paul Favre loves shout outs.
At the end of the day, the Supreme Court is looking at this shit like, if we take this shit away, everything's gonna be fucked up for everybody. Now, if it was just fucked up for black folks, like that whole thing about affirmative action, I think that shit might be on this last leg. I think this dude gonna mess around and win.
On the state level, there's some interesting shit going on. Oregon became the third state in the nation to legalize human composting.
Bobby, what is human composting?
Human composting is when you take someone who has died.
What you do with them?
And you put them in a big barrel with a hook attached to them, and you put a bunch of wood chips and other earthy things in there.
Are you barbecuing people, Bobby?
Nope. And then over the course of a couple weeks, you kind of grind that all into dirt, essentially.
And you eat them?
And then you can plant that as soil or use that for whatever the hell it is that you decide to use it for. But it is a lot of times
it's not gross.
A lot of times people are like, there's a whole market out there actually where you can become a tree. You know what I mean? Like you can become the soil that the tree is planted in, and then you can be like responsible for becoming a tree. It's actually a very earth friendly. It's a very environmentally solid thing to do. Obviously, by not being buried, you're not taking up space in the earth, and you're also not going through cremation where your remains are being fired out or whatever. So
out where I live.
Called natural organic reduction is the actual
natural organic reduction. There are miles of riverfront property near where I live that a cemetery. It's just like 3 huge cemeteries.
Such a waste of space.
Yeah, and every time I drive past that shit, I'm like, we need to dig these motherfuckers up because like this could be beautiful. You could do some shit here.
Yeah,
like the whole town would be improved if we dug up all those people and made them compost.
Rob, you look like that is not for you. You look like
I'm not being disrespectful to those dead people. I'm saying they dead. Let's move on.
I don't care. I think
that's a reasonable response.
Dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be dead. What y'all do with the remains of my fat ass, I give no fuck.
Yeah. My only thing is I don't want to be buried. Almost anything else is preferable. Yeah. Cremate me, turn me into a tree, make me a diamond, whatever the fuck you want. Shoot me into space. You know what I mean? Like
I think I want that diamond shit. Yeah, bling, motherfucker. Let me shine for eternity.
Turn me into something that could get stolen and pawned and shit. That's what I'm looking to be. Just try to make.
Yeah, I just want to shine. I don't give a fuck how you feel about my shine or where I come from.
That whole diamond thing, like, are you a diamond?
I mean,
it's like a.
I don't think you're. Obviously, you're not crushed coal.
No, but they can make they can make man-made diamonds. So.
Yeah, they can create the pressure. They can do laser shit. They can do stuff that's imperceptible now from regular diamonds. So.
That's what I mean. It'll be one of those.
I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of research on what kind of diamond I'd be.
I didn't even know the diamond thing existed. That's why I'm
sorry. Yeah. I'm super into being a tree. You know what I mean? Like
that does sound kind of
turn me into a tree and then my bones come out as I sprout from the earth.
Yeah, that's what's up. Oh my god.
Just freak people out.
What if your skull came just through like the trunk of the tree just enough, like in one of
where I'm just like sitting on top of it. Here's some shocking things you'll be surprised to learn. Microsoft Japan went to a 4-day work week, and surprise, y'all, they're getting better production out of their people.
Yeah,
I know that sounds crazy. It is a Microsoft, so it's not like it isn't some shit that could work here also. You know what I mean? Like. Microsoft is also a company here. I don't know if you guys know this, but Microsoft is a company that also exists in the U.S. It may seem odd, but not only that, it actually fucking started here. It started here, and they're like, you know, we should try out the coolest way to let people work that still have to work. How about we do it in Japan?
I did this. This is not a new thing. I did this. There was I had a hiatus. I dropped out of college for a few years. I worked regular jobs. And I worked at a place called Warehouser that we did this. We had, I can't remember, it was 3 or 4, it was 4 teams, I think. And we all worked 4-day shifts, 4 days, 12 hours, and you're off for 4 days. And we just rotated like that. And it was actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
I dug it. Because even though the 4 days off rotated, sometimes you had the weekends off with everybody else. Sometimes you were off 4 days in the week, but you were off for 4 days. So I wasn't complaining like, I got Tuesday through Friday. It was like, shit, I have 4 days off. I found shit to do.
I mean,
or chill.
Productivity is up here at 40% at this Microsoft in Japan. Electricity costs are down 23%. So, and they printed nearly 60% fewer pages of like shit you got to like print out in a business because they weren't open on Friday. So, you know,
when I first started at the jail, they were on 4 days on,
yep,
2 days off. So before you got tired of going to work, it was your off day.
Right.
And then everybody got a weekend because your
Right.
weekends rotated backwards.
Right.
So everybody got some part of the weekend every 6 weeks or so.
Sure.
And it was perfect.
Yeah.
And then the union came in and went to 5 and 2. And because white people was coming and they wanted to make sure they could have the days off they wanted.
Yeah, it's a crazy. I mean, you know, I live with somebody who works 410s in a prison. When I first moved back here, my big thing was to not have to work on Fridays. That was my whole thing. Obviously, we do this podcast on Fridays, but before that, I was like, the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and have this last day of the week where everybody is trying to get their last bit of shit done, where I don't have to fuck with it. And it pushed me to like try and get more shit done in the early part of the week, because I don't really like doing shit on Saturday or Sunday either. You know what I mean? But also a lot of the stuff I do is not really stuck within a regular working day thing. You know, like I'll be, you know, I'm still working on shit at 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday sometimes because I want to, which is a little different. One of the things I don't want to ever do is be on this show called The Ultimate Slip and Slide. It's a new game show that they're filming. It's for NBC. It's a competition series. It was supposed to be coming out pretty soon. They had to put it on pause because there's an issue of explosive diarrhea that hit everybody working on the show, which even on a regular show, this would be bad, but on a show that's about competitive slip and slide, it seems like, how far did they try and keep it going to, like, how far down a slide did someone get to and lose it where they were like, all right, we're calling it right now. You know how, like, have you ever been at a baseball game where it rains and you're like, it seems like it's raining too hard to play baseball, but the umps are just still out there for a little bit, and then finally one of them just like, you see him raise his hand like, I've had enough of this wetness. Like, it seems like somewhere they're just like, okay, like 17 people have now shit themselves, and what they are like, even the article.
Really 17? Are you?
I don't know. There's a number. There's like, it's more than 5 though, and they got beaver fever. They got 40 crew members is what they had. 40. Whoa. 40 is more than 17 even. Okay,
Whoa.
that's more.
that's craft services.
I was trying
man.
to figure this out. Like,
that's
how
gotta
did
be craft
they know?
services, right?
They got Giardia, every report about it calls it explosive diarrhea. So somebody was coordinating some stories, right? Like, after like the 9th person was like, I also have explosive diarrhea, they're like, something's up, you know?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, my question is related to, were they shooting and somebody on the slip and slide just left
So like
line?
the way you get Giardia is you get fecal matter in your mouth.
Right.
And
right.
they're shooting a slip and slide competition.
But it was crew members though.
But I mean, the crew
That's even worse.
The crew has to set shit up and get the water going and get everything going. So like
God.
they're more they interact with the shit way more than just a competitor. You know what I mean? Like,
gross.
Yeah. But I was just trying to see if somebody competing was trying to get that extra little bit of space.
Someone who is Giardia proof, they're like, I've beaten Giardia, I can handle it.
And
they just like,
let a little bit of fecal matter go.
Man, please, can we never say fecal matter on this show ever again?
Some other questionable shit that went on this past week.
Nice.
Yeah, here's a. So there is an issue that in the Harley Quinn series. Where there's, I think Batman was supposed to be eating Catwoman out or something, and DC nixed the scene because they claimed heroes, quote unquote, don't do that. Which I got to tell you, I have done that before and then been called a hero by the person.
Yeah,
There's a lot of heroes in this room.
That was obviously written by a dude.
There's a lot of heroes going on here. You know what I mean?
Corny motherfucker whose wife is not happy with him.
Yeah. To read the actual quote, Harley Quinn is also unique among the current crop of comic content, and that its main character and all of her closer allies are villains rather than heroes in the DC canon. Let me see where I can find where this is. They asked him to remove this scene. That allows the show to do different things with the characters that heroes simply cannot do, at least according to DC. A perfect example of that in this third season of Harley Quinn is when we had a moment where Batman was going down on Catwoman and DC was like, you can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. They're like, heroes don't do that. So we said, are you saying heroes are just selfish lovers? And they were like, no, it's that we sell consumer toys for heroes. It's hard to sell a toy if Batman is also going down on someone, which is not true because I've made every action figure I've ever had go down. They all going down on the other action figures in my world. Gay, straight. That might have been even before living in Boys Town, that was the earliest time I was like, who gives a fuck about gay people? I just had Snake Eyes eat out Optimus Prime. It doesn't matter.
Dude,
what's happening.
We used to have those Barbie-sized G.I. Joe dolls, the old school ones, and they used to, face all the way deep down in Barbie's muff.
Just eating ass,
all the
you know
time.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Just ass and titties all around everywhere.
And cousins' dolls. Yeah, our G.I. Joes used to kick the shit out of Ken and fuck Barbie.
God,
just cucking Ken, you know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Dude, I was doing that shit at 7. I was doing that cuck shit at 7.
Ken was a cuck at 7 years old for XL.
Oh my god, I literally.
That is your first instinct as a child.
Dude, I swear to God, we did that shit. I didn't even think about it from that perspective.
I mean, before I knew what a 69 was, I was like, that's what these guys are doing. You know what I mean? Like, there's.
We had Cinemax.
I mean, I had the blurry, wavy version.
Me too, but you got to see shit, though.
Occasionally a boob would pop up.
Back in the day, you could fuck with the TV a little bit to make that waviness less wavy.
Let me explain to you how,
it.
like, if people that don't understand how, like, we were able to be calm while internet dial-up connected, it's like you don't know how we had to sit through wavy line titty. Okay, like that.
Dude, I remember like the first time I was like flipping the channels past that shit, and I was like, I think I saw a titty. Like that one time thinking I saw a titty.
In the grade school. Everybody in the grade school was talking about that shit.
That shit wound up with me just watching.
If you wait.
I probably need glasses now because I was just staring at wavy fucking lines trying to see titties for hours.
Like getting all up close. Like, is that vagina? It's not
oh
vagina.
My God. Is this an Emmanuel? Is this one of the Emmanuels?
Oh shit! You brought up Emmanuel. That's a great lead into our last story of the day because Emmanuel started like in the 70s, I think.
Yeah.
As far as the movies for that. And speaking of 70s movies, they are rebooting the 1972 blaxploitation cult classic Blackula. Which, you know, was a pretty. Have you ever seen Blackula? Have you watched it?
I think I saw it when I was a kid. I saw it as a kid.
Probably not a movie that my dad should have watched with me, but among the other mistakes my dad probably made with me.
Oh, dude, I think it's a rite of passage. As a matter of fact, I can't feel bad.
Not when you're 6, nigga. That's not the time.
Dude, I think that's when I first saw like Dolomite and shit like that.
I watched a lot of that shit when I was younger. Yeah, we watched a lot of that.
Yeah, that's the only time you can see black people on the fucking screen, so you had to deal with it, man.
Deion Taylor and Michael Ranum are going to be rebooting. I'm not familiar with these guys' work a whole lot, but Deion Taylor did Fatale and Michael Ranum did The Silencing, which sounds like some horror shit to me. So they're going to update it, obviously.
So is it going to be like a full-blown horror flick, you think?
The movie's official description is Blackula is an ancient African prince who is cursed by Dracula after he fails to agree to end the slave trade. Blackula is entombed and awakens 200 years later after slavery's over. How convenient. This nigga could have helped us out so much. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't come out, nigga. We're gonna...
Damn, I know you was tired for living forever, but goddamn. Slavery off, nigga?
Ready to avenge the death of his ancestors, which is this is some payback shit going on, which I like. I'm into this. Basically a black Dracula is going to wake up 200 years after totally missed slavery and be like, well, let me see if I can get y'all a little payback.
These niggas are making this movie 100% gambling on Tucker Carlson finding out about it.
Oh, Tucker Carlson's going to hate this one.
Yeah, they're probably sending this nigga emails and shit. It drops in October.
Tucker Carlson is not fond of this one.
And dig this, they better go do whatever the fuck they got to do to have the big payback when dude come up out the casket and shit when he come back.
All I know is if RZA gets the soundtrack for this, they can take my money right now. I will. If they give RZA the soundtrack for this, I'm gonna try and invest in this movie. I'm gonna try and can we do this shit like, I'm gonna try and put some money up on this one. I got $20 on this one, RZA. I'll throw in to if you want to produce the soundtrack for this. That's what I want to see.
I mean, I know maybe it's just because of Blake. Excuse me.
Just because of what?
Jesus Christ, sorry. I was going to say Blade, but I would love to see Wesley Snipes.
I know it's just because of Blazing.
Just because of Blade.
Blade?
Blade. Probably because of Blade, but Wesley Snipes would make an amazing Blackula.
I mean, you gotta flip the script though. I'm sure Wesley Snipes ain't trying to be two Draculas.
Two different Draculas.
He's like, can't y'all find another nigga? Where's Mahershala Ali? Can this nigga be?
What you do? This how you fix it. Everybody good. You give Wesley his due by making him the ancient African dude, and then make somebody else the actual new dude that comes back.
Yeah, not Michael B. Jordan for this one. Can we not have Michael B. Jordan be Blackula?
Let that nigga have a time off.
Can we let it?
He fucking Steve Harvey daughter.
Can we let a nigga who's actually 6 foot plus be Dracula? I don't want a big. Big Brother be.
Hey man, what if Will Smith goes against Brand?
Oh shit!
Will Smith.
Now
goes
I'm
against
in.
Brand.
I'm in again. I'm in it. Will Smith with the RZA on the soundtrack. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in for all this. Rob, you're gonna be here next week, right?
I am going to be live in studio next week. We got a bunch of little dates we doing. We're gonna let them out. We'll put out the plug of the
Yes, that old shit.
we got.
Give me that Gen X. Tell me that Gen X plugger shit. Say pluggers. We put not the pluggers.
Yes, when I say that, nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Flyers. We're gonna put out some flyers.
Pluggers and shit. Hey, we got July 1st. We got Moby Combs and friends. Bobby Hill will be there. Robert Hines will be there. I will be there. Durant Howard will be there. We probably have a couple other drop-ins. Mara Lee will be there. It's gonna be a hot-ass show. That's July 1st. Tonight, Funnier by the Lake in Cary, Illinois. You're gonna see me and this motherfucker.
I'm
and
this
motherfucker and me. And I know we gonna let Rob do his thing. I just want to make sure we plug those.
Rob, what's your?
No, I'm done. I'm glad that you plugged it because I'm terrible at plugging things that you well know.
You guys shoot at Crackers in July. You're in studio for the next few weeks. When you start next week, where can people find you on social media, man? Robert_L_Hines on all of social media. Nice. What you got going on, X? You mentioned a couple of them. Anything else you got popping?
In Cary, at a place called Spirit Water in Cary, Illinois. Spirit Water Tap Room. And at XL Comedy to peep everything else. We got this big show coming up July 1st. We also June 30th, we're going to be at Laugh Factory, me, you, and that other motherfucker over there. And I can't think of else. I think that's everything.
Yeah, I actually do have dates. I got dates coming up. Half of them are with these guys, so they've already said some of those. But I'm also going to be out in Loves Park. I'm going down to Indianapolis to be with these fools at Crackers in Indianapolis in July.
Shout out to
I'm actually headlining a show in Wauwatosa, I think, at the end of July. Also, right outside of Milwaukee. So if you're in the Milwaukee area, come check out. Find me at Mocha_Jesus for all that information. Go to itsbobbyhill.com. You can get all the dates and how to get tickets. Get over to the show at New OGs Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you like and subscribe to the show. Get over to People of Comedy and People of Comedy Network on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, plug something.
Plug some shit,
please.
So People of Comedy, today finally, after months of deliberation, I finally released the South by Southwest cut that we sent to the festival. It features 5 of the best comedians anywhere, but specifically from Chicago. Calvin Evans, Corey Bell, Maddie Ryan, Sarah Perry, and M. Brown are
hell
all
of a lineup.
It's
a fucking fire lineup.
It is only an hour long too, so if you're a fan of stand-up comedy and you want to see what Chicago can accomplish in less than 32 hours, check out our channel on YouTube.
It's on YouTube at People of Comedy. Get over there and check it out. Thank you guys so much. We'll catch you here next week with Rob in the studio. That's what's up.
We in the stew.